All right, Pisces. So I'm looking at this Eight of Swords, and I'm looking at the Eight of Swords as well in the environment position. Now, if you look at this card, she's standing on a rock, with some pretty stormy water. So she's kind of trapped on that rock there without really anywhere to go. So there is this feeling of being trapped. Now, trapped by money sometimes, right? Sometimes we make a decision because we think, okay, well, we need to make sure we have the money to do it. Trapped by the decisions of another person. Some people can't really make decisions because maybe children are involved or something like that. That can always be a really, really hard place to be. But I guarantee you that, first of all, the best will happen. Even if there are certain compromises that you have to make, the best will ultimately happen. And the more surrendered, right? Remember water, the more surrendered you can be, the more powerful the mark you can leave. So this is an illusion. We know that the swords are just thoughts. And when our thoughts are our own barricade, at least we know that we can overcome them. Please make sure that you're not sitting and wasting so much time worrying about other people or worrying about hypotheticals. Hypothetically speaking, this person could do X, Y, or Z to prevent me from doing A, B, and C. Well, let's not play in the hypothetical realm right now. Sometimes we can get lost there and then no real action actually takes place. So that's a place to avoid right now, okay? Let's take a look at your energy, all right, with this King of Cups thing here. I love the Ace of Swords with the King of Cups because this represents the best of both worlds, really. There's the discernment and the intellect, the logic and the strategy, but there's also the power and the intuition here. Now remember what I was saying, that there's kind of a social component, right? You're going to listen to what I'm saying or else you can leave the room. And the Ace of Swords is really that power to draw the line. It's the very black and white, cut and dry. Here's the line, you either cross it or you don't. You're either with me or you're not. And I think in a way, Pisces might need this new reordering for the sake of simplicity, for the sake of really understanding where they're at and where they're not at. Okay, this is to help you come to grips with your current situation. So Six of Wands and Nine of Coins. Six of Wands, of course, is a card of victory, which goes very well with the Chariot, which does indicate that it's likely that you will succeed in whatever it is you're trying to succeed at, right? We've got this spiritual and material prosperity. It'll work. It'll work out okay. Nine of Coins, this is like you have to have that value, that sense of self-value. Chiron through the second is going to teach you so much about self-worth. Now, that's a hard topic for me. I'm just going to disclaimer this, right? Like I've got really, really harsh planets in my second house, and it's not an easy thing to work through. But Chiron offers healing with that. This is the reason, this feeling of self-worth, this is the reason why you are capable of so much. This is why you're the dark horse, because you have to learn through those feelings of self-worth. And when you do, and you finally catch on to it, that's when you start winning the race. This is the turn of the race for Pisces. This is when the race starts working in your favor and not in the favor of everybody else. Jupiter comes to the 12th house. Jupiter loves to be in the 12th house, right? He's very much at home. He's one of your ruling planets. So to have your ruling planet Jupiter in your natural 12th house, even though it is a Saturn-ruled, Uranus-ruled Aquarius energy, it's still the 12th house. He's very comfortable there. So, there can be some excellent understanding, excellent progress that is made during that time. Okay? Remember, the 12th house motto is I believe, and the Aquarius motto is I understand. So when you have I understand and I believe coming together, it's a powerful formula to create pretty much whatever the heck you want. So now the environment, like I say, the swords, it's an illusion, all right? You can choose to feel trapped or not. I think not, because of the Eight of Wands. I love this image because it's like a warm embrace. And this is, when people say the thing that you want wants you, when we're talking about law of attraction, manifestation kind of deal stuff, that's the case with the Eight of Wands. What you want wants you, which means it's destined. Because if you didn't want it, it wouldn't be for you. The wanting is a very important aspect of our humanity. And if it's not a want or a desire that's coming from ego, it's coming from source. It's our directives. So pay attention to that, because I think you are wanting to get away from this oppressive Ten of Wands energy. You're wanting to get away from that which binds you. And as much as you want to get away from that, your freedom wants you. You want freedom, freedom wants you. And the Chariot is here to bridge the gap between the two. So please don't think you're in a tough spot. You're not. It's just you have to believe. And you have to have faith that it can happen. So when we start off with the King of Wands, the loss, you're going to maybe have to give up 10 and take this one instead. Or give up a few and just take one. People from the outside, you have to be careful. People from the outside, like your boyfriend's girlfriends, your friends, your coworkers, whatever, they're going to be like, are you serious? Like, you took a job that was less money? You quit your job to work for yourself? Like, are you crazy? Please don't listen to that. That is what is going to just like switch you right back, because when you start getting up on this throne, everyone else starts getting threatened. I have this conversation with my Leos and my Capricorns and my Scorpios all the time, right? There's often a lot of jealousy toward people of these archetypes because they feel deserving of being in those seats. Now, Capricorn, maybe not so much, but Capricorn has that, ambition. They just keep climbing and climbing and climbing. They may never feel truly comfortable at the top, and they may be lonely up there, but they're just still going to keep doing it. It's very easy for people to project jealousy onto these signs. And I feel like you're starting to come into that, like, okay, people are starting to project their jealousy on me a little bit, or their envy, because I'm following my heart and they're not. And I'm a reflection of that within themselves. And they don't like it. It's uncomfortable. So there will be people who are uncomfortable with this. But when you take the page over the 10, that is when the Wheel of Fortune starts spinning. This is like a trigger. And I don't mean like a psychological trigger. I mean like pressing the stopwatch. Boom. You kind of set the clock and this starts moving. Now, please be careful. This takes a while to start turning over. It's kind of like the amount of effort to start moving something really heavy. It's a high amount of effort to get it moving. Once it's moving, it's fine, but you have to get it moving first. It's that initial bout of effort. So this choice to take this hit or this loss is going to be kind of hard. But when you do, look what happens. 10 of Cups, Ace of Cups. A lot of new chapters begin. And I love the Ace of Wands. This is because of your discernment. This is because of your kind of, like I said before, it's kind of aggressive. It's because you're getting aggressive with it. Because you can't contain, the High Priestess speaks, you can't contain it anymore. What you want wants you, Pisces. So what is it? Your freedom? Financial freedom? Emotional freedom? Joy? Solitude? What is it? Page of Wands is the humility that I know, right? Remember, you kind of downgraded from a King of Wands to a Page of Wands. This is why people are going to think you're crazy. But there's so much more freedom here because there's not nearly as much responsibility. And maybe some of you are starting to, really separate yourself from clients. You're starting to really, set boundaries with your time at work, or, really ask people to start taking care of things themselves. Maybe you're starting to delegate a little bit more. You're finding yourself with more control over your time, more control over your choices. And it feels right. That's it. It feels right. And I love how optimistic. Now, Pisceans are naturally optimistic. Of course, you have the Jupiterian and also Neptunian rulership, but you also have Sagittarius in the 10th house. Like, why wouldn't you be optimistic? Why wouldn't you feel like it is possible, right? Why wouldn't you? So the Queen of Cups reversed, I feel, is someone else. You're coming out too powerful to come out as the queen, I think. A little too much masculine energy. The Queen of Cups is... It's weird how I feel like there's a choice between you either have to choose the Ace of Wands or the Queen of Cups, but the Queen of Cups reversed is someone that you simply cannot change them. You simply cannot be there for them. They're whiny, micromanaging, controlling, probably don't listen very well. They have very little ambition, and because what they lack within themselves is something they don't like to look at, they're going to project it onto you. Okay, that kind of stuff is coming through the Queen of Cups. So maybe this is a part of the loss. You have to lose this Queen of Cups in order to really open this door. But remember, this decision is not just about the decision. It's not just about that moment where you decide what you're going to do. This is about your future. The decision really is the beginning, initial turning of the wheel. The decision is the effort that is required to get this to spin. The universe needs you to spin the wheel of fortune. It doesn't just come to you, okay? You have to invite it in, and you do that through your actions. Remember, communicate. Why do I feel like this is so important? Communication is key. You have to say the things, Pisces. You have to say the things. And of course, the Page of Wands is going to choose the Ace of Wands, obviously. This may feel like a heavy loss. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. There's going to be a passionate moment, I feel. There might be anger. There might be a fight. Just feeling out that Emperor reversed. I don't know why. Maybe it's not the feminine and masculine. Because over here I'm feeling like this is not, like this is the same as the Queen of Cups because they're reversed. So maybe it's not a masculine feminine thing the way I said before. Maybe it's a reversal versus upright thing. This Emperor is not the same as you. This is someone who won't get on their throne. First of all, they're not willing to do the work, whether it's internal or external work. Like, I don't know, this seems like someone who feels very entitled. They feel entitled. They really think the world owes them something. And for whatever reason, Pisces may have taken on that burden, but you're just simply not there anymore. That's not who you are anymore. And it's never who you're going to be ever, ever again. So whatever this is, their little free ride or whatever, 3 of Cups, it's over because Pisces is leaving. And I look at this Queen of Wands, she's looking the other direction. She's out here looking over here. Like she doesn't even think twice about it. So the choice to choose the Ace of Wands, the choice to choose like the 8 of Cups, Queen of Wands moving forward, all these kind of energies. What was the other one in here that was weird? Oh no, there was no weird one. Never mind. I just feel like there's many micro decisions smaller little conversations that are needing to happen, small decisions that have massive impact. And I just love the empowered. This is a very Aries kind of quality. This is Mars and Aries for you guys in the second house, right? You're like, you know what? I can do it myself. I can work for myself. I can make it happen for myself. Look, guys, 2021, right? We're going to kick that off December 21st, 2020, Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in the 12th house. January 6th, I think it is, Mars moves into Taurus. It's going to activate Lilith. It's going to activate Uranus. And that's going to happen in your third house, which is, of course, is one of the most creative houses, right? Fifth house, third house, 12th house, 11th house. I mean, these are hyper creative houses. So you're not going to be short of ideas or opportunities of how to really go about doing this. You know, you're not going to be short of ideas like that. So don't let that be the thing that prevents you. I see an untethering. Okay. Now let's look at this Ace of Coins. Now we have the Chariot reversed. And I see that this is the temptation. Look, you have to be aware of when the Chariot is moving and when it's not moving. Now, what is the Chariot? What does this mean? This is spiritual evolution or ascension, if you will. Now, this can happen in a lot of normal ways, like you get a promotion or you actually, move cities or you change jobs, or maybe if you work for yourself, maybe your mission or vision starts to go in a new direction or something. So the Chariot is movement. It's the ultimate goal, okay? It's where you're heading. But there can be a decision that comes in that halts that. This is why focus is so important. Now, Pisces and all the other mutables, right? Sagittarius, Gemini, and Virgo, all the mutable energies have to be very conscious of their mutability, because mutables can go in all sorts of different directions and they can adapt very quickly. Now, that's a good thing to some extent, but when it comes to stepping on this throne, you can be easily distracted. And you can easily justify things. And you can easily, say, oh, well, you know what, that's a little too much work. I'm going to go in a new direction now. And that can be a hard thing sometimes. So you have to be conscious of when your mutability is not working in your favor. In the same way that fixed energies need to check in themselves of like how stubborn they are, in the same way that cardinals need to check their inflexibility, right? They're usually not flexible either. So you have to, check that. Because what I see with this Knight of Wands is someone coming in and interrupting the Chariot doing its thing. And it's going to be very alluring. I honestly think self-reliance is your best friend right now. There's going to be a lot of things. You're going to have to do a lot on your own. And I know that, with Sagittarius in the 10th, it's a lot easier to do it like with a partner or whatever. But like, please, please, please make sure that you are doing as much on your own as you possibly can. That won't always be the message. It's just that the universe doesn't need things to get confused with other people's ideas of what they need from your time and what you need to be in that driver's seat of your time. You need to be in the driver's seat of how you spend your day, the people with whom you spend your day. Like, you need to step into that power. Because if you give that power, like if you make this change here, but then boom, you immediately switch over here to something else, the universe is like, okay, fine, you're not ready for the Chariot yet. And the Chariot is just going to sit still and it's not going to move. So you have to be conscious of that, because we want you to be the one. Now, eventually you'll be able to collaborate, and that's fine. When it comes to like new clients, when it comes to new romantic partners or whatever, like make sure that you're on the same page. It's not just like the next best thing that comes around. Does it align? One of the hardest parts of focus is saying no to a lot of really good opportunities. Opportunities are going to come to you. You have to know which ones to say yes and no to. So if you don't have an idea of your vision, now is a great time. Eclipse season, come on. This is a great time for you to really think about your life. We've had enough, right? High Priestess reversed, that bubbling up of truth, being undeniable. Like, you've had this whole year to come to grips with your soul and understand what your soul is saying. So now you need to understand what kind of decisions are good for your soul. Because this Tower, this is an inevitability, guys. So whether you're consciously living in truth or not, the Tower is going to happen. If you're not conscious, this is going to be a surprise and you're going to freak out and have a hard time. If you're conscious, you're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I know exactly what that's all about. Easy peasy. And you actually, see, look, I kind of look, this is very scorpionic to me. I know a lot of people equate this with Uranus energy. I actually use Plutonian energy as like the rise of the phoenix. So we have kind of like the sting of the scorpion here, and then we have the rise of the phoenix coming out hand in hand. Two sides of the same coin here. You can also do this with death instead of the Tower too. So we have the destruction, we have the closing things out, we have things being torn down, we have obstacles leaving your life, and we have a clear path. Now, you may be standing in the destruction for a minute, Hanged Man, or this may be delayed until next year. I think the Tower is only going to happen when you decide, do I want the Chariot to be reversed as it is here, or do I want the Chariot to be upright? The Chariot will only reverse. The Chariot only reverses itself because your decisions are indicating to the universe that you don't want to be on it. That's the only time it reverses. So, sometimes it can be a little scary. We can be afraid of the hit that we're going to take. We can be afraid of the loss. We can be afraid of the patience that it's going to require. Because if you jump from getting rid of this, but then just taking the next best thing, you're downgrading. You're not upgrading. The whole point of this, the whole point of the Wheel of Fortune is to upgrade. The whole point is progress. The whole point is this land of milk and honey. It's the paradise. But this Knight of Wands thing, as great as it may seem, and this collaboration thing, I just don't get a good vibe from it. These are beautiful cards, don't get me wrong. Like any other tarot reader might look at these and be like, what's wrong with these? I don't know what's wrong with them. I just don't get a good vibe from it. Because you don't want to go from a king to a knight, right? You want to go from a king to an emperor, which is the whole point. Now, you can stay at the page level for a minute and be that humility or whatever, but it's for the sake of the Wheel of Fortune. This is for the sake of safety, which is why the Chariot comes out reversed. This is safe. And it's going to keep you on that rock. Eventually, you're just going to feel trapped again. Eventually, you're just going to feel annoyed. You're going to start resenting things again because you didn't really make the choice that was being called from your soul. You were making the choice that your ego in self-preservation mode needed to make. Oh, I'm just going to take the next client because I need the money, instead of really putting in the work for the big account. I'm just going to take the next person that shows a little bit of interest in me romantically because you weren't capable of waiting the amount of time that it would take to give you the love of your life. Because you were afraid of being alone. Don't be afraid to hang out here, guys. Please don't be afraid. The destruction, right? Remember? That's the indication that the growth is happening. It's not a bad thing. Hanged Man comes through and says, just breathe here. Rest here. Enjoy it here. There's no obligations here. All right? This is meant to be a good place. The Tower is meant to be good. King of Coins. It feels elusive, doesn't it? It's amazing how much our lives can change in a year. Some of you I'm going to be talking to a year from now, and you will be an entirely different person. You'll be living in a new city. You'll have a new job. You'll have a new lover. Maybe some of you a baby on the way. Whole new life. Probably a life that right now you think, oh, 10 years. I'm here to say no. Not 10 years. A lot less than that. This King of Coins thing is a lot closer than you think. And you don't even have to do any of the work. Six of Swords reversed. The only work you have to do is make the initial spark decisions, right? The spark to get the fire going, the initial spark decisions to get this wheel of fortune spinning. And have that belief, right? Jupiter through the 12th, to believe that all the things that you weren't thought were possible are actually possible. I cannot stress. I'm maybe even talking to myself a little bit here, but I'm a Virgo, so I relate very well. I'm a 12th house Virgo, so I relate very well to the Piscean energy. But it's really, really, really important to believe in the things that seem impossible and to really believe it. Because sometimes the world can turn upside down. Sometimes the world can truly surprise us. And you can come into some kind of wealth, material and spiritual prosperity. You can come into some kind of abundance that you literally only dreamed of, thinking that it was only ever going to be a dream. And then all of a sudden it becomes your reality and you're like, oh my God, I had no idea that this magic stuff was so powerful. I had no idea that telling people or showing them the door was that big a deal. I had no idea that these decisions were so impactful. I had no idea how important it was for me to hang out here. I had no idea. I had no idea how important it was for me to get on that throne and to start telling people that I'm going to sit here now. And all I had to do was get up there. That's all it was. I just had to get up there and just sit down. So easy. I don't know why we always make our lives so hard, you know? And I think the easiness here is what really comes to light of oh my God, I made my life so much harder than I ever needed to make it. But once you're here, I think you feel like you truly belong. And maybe one of the reasons why this person was so impactful in your life is because you saw them as an emperor. And you also saw that they were not wearing that hat the right way, right? They were not using that power in a positive way. And in a way, what it was a reflection of you not using your power the right way either. Right? Now you see it. You can never unsee it. You can never deny it. And in a way, I think you owe the world to this person. Not owe them, but the amount of gratitude that you owe them, insurmountable, because it's because of their lack of stability on this throne is the reason why you can create substantial stability on that throne. You are the reaction to your experience with this. So when it comes to your family, when it comes to your home life, when it comes to your finances and your professional life, this is truly leveling up. This is a card of prosperity, whether it's upright or reversed. It's a card of prosperity, but when it's reversed, it just requires a little bit more patience, especially when it comes out with the Hanged Man. Time. Please do not try to control time. All right, let time go through you. You guys, these King of Coins, I love so much for you. I feel so secure in knowing that this next chapter of your life is going to be completely different. and so beautiful and so full of peace and love. For some of you, marriage. For some of you, children. For some of you, who are maybe, going through a retirement, right? A very peaceful retirement, or moving to a new city. I feel like everything is starting to work out. And this sort of, self-worth that comes from this 9 of coins, which is also over here, it just becomes a part of you. This is true ownership of your own self-worth. And self-worth really is more self-respect. This is look at how much earth. This is unshakable. Because you finally see it. You finally see it. You finally get it. You finally understand it. And it finally becomes a real part of you. So beautiful. Oh my God, I'm like getting chills. Let's pull up some last oracle cards for you. We've got an archetype card. Engineer. The ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. I kind of like that. It's the 12th house Aquarius, more scientifically minded, the logic that Pisceans can truly exhibit. There's something if you can apply logic to this, you're even that much more powerful. This doesn't have to be so esoteric. It's just, if I make a decision, a good thing happens. If I make a different decision, a bad thing happens, or whatever, And I just see you feeling really confident and comfortable with all that. Okay, we have 2 more. We're going to do Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect a miracle. Oh my gosh, remember what I was saying about belief? Believe in the impossible. The Moon, the High Priestess. If you can believe in a miracle will be granted. I promise you that. I love the real dark blue here, kind of that indigo color. I love that for you guys. That's very third eye. Okay, third eye, and maybe even the crown chakra, the higher chakras here, coming through from a truly etheric place. Now, I'm using a ritual deck here. I know we have a couple of eclipses coming on, November 30th and December 14th. I know some people say don't do ceremonies on eclipse days. I personally am kind of the opposite. I think, why the heck not? These are the most powerful days. But there's darkness and portals and things that open. Well, I don't care whatever you believe. If you want to do a ceremony or something on the moons, I'm just going to pull this as kind of we have the earth. Okay, so if you do that, make sure that you have some earth element incorporated in your ceremony. Okay, I think this is the real groundedness that'll be truly beneficial for you. This is root chakra kind of stuff, right? That bottom base chakra. It's the self-reliance, Mars through the second, Mars through Aries kind of vibes. Being really connected with yourself, being able to take care of things yourself, non-reliant on others, and feeling a quality that okay, because I'm grounded, because I'm firm, because I'm throned, right? I'm on my throne. I can accomplish anything. And this is going to be powerful for you for these eclipses, okay? All right, you guys, beautiful, beautiful reading. As always, you guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best. Have an amazing holiday, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.